The MLB trade deadline might still be a couple months away, but it's already becoming clear if the Jays want to stay competitive this year, they will need to buy. This team is better than last year, but in a very tight American League, one big acquisition at the trade deadline could be the difference between playoffs or an early vacation. In this video, we are breaking down 5 realistic trade targets that the Blue Jays could go after this trade deadline. Let's get straight into it. So here we have the Toronto Blue Jays roster, and this is definitely a better squad than last year, but there are still a decent amount of holes. The big one for me is looking at that starting pitching. 26 in ERA, and when you scroll down and you look at the 5 guys we have right now, I mean, Jose Barrios doing okay, got a 4.22 ERA. Bassett admittedly having a great year, but then Gausman, kind of mid-3 ERA, doing well, but, can we rely on him? Bowden, really rough start, and then Eric Lauer, which effectively is just as much of a dart throw as you can have. This rotation to me needs work, and you're going to see a theme here because a lot of these guys, they are going to be pitchers. Starting off with Sandy Alcantara. Now, looking at the ERA, it's not good, everybody. He's got an 8.04 ERA right now, a whip of 1.574. I agree, it's not there right now, but this is still Sandy, right? This is still somebody who absolutely at any given moment could be that best guy. I mean, we're talking about a Cy Young winner here, and he is still coming off of Tommy John. I believe in him. I think that this is somebody that is going to get better as the season goes on. And I will, kind of put in that asterisk there. They'd only go after this guy if they saw those good outings, but I do expect him to have some of those good outings. And I'm not the only one, right? MLB executives, they were recently polled. This came out on May 8th, so at the beginning of May. They were recently polled on who they believe is going to get, or most likely to get traded. The number one name was Sandy Alcantara with 12 votes. So a lot of people are thinking that Sandy is going to get shipped off. Right now, he has this year and then an additional year of control plus a club option in 2027. So he would cost quite a bit, especially if he does start performing well, But you could also make the argument that with the ERA where it is right now, with the whip where it is right now, you might be able to get him at kind of a discounted rate. And we're talking about somebody who would be with this team for a long period of time, being able to kind of take over maybe where Chris Bassett might leave off, if, of course, he doesn't come back in free agency next year. So this, to me, definitely going to be a name that you hear the Toronto Blue Jays being in on, if, of course, they are in at the trade deadline, which, by the way, is very important. Right now, at the time of recording this video, Blue Jays are 26 and 27, still very much in that wild card race. They're going to need to stay around here if they're going to be buying at the trade deadline and if they're going to be going after any of these 5 guys. Sandy, number 1. Somebody that might be a little bit cheaper and just more of a band-aid 1 year. You want to go in on it right now with maybe the last year of Bo, maybe the last year of Chris Bassett. Tyler Anderson could be that guy. This is a lefty, which is somebody that we desperately need to have as a starting pitcher. Toronto Blue Jays do not have lefties at all, basically. So Tyler Anderson would be that guy. He is a veteran. He's got a 3.6 ERA and a whip of 1.236 over there on the LA Angels. And I mean, look, guys, it's the LA Angels. They're 25 and 28, which is actually better than I thought they were, but they are going to be sellers like they are every single year. Anderson on the final year of his deal, being paid $13 million. So honestly, not a big monetary investment, I guess, if you will, for the Toronto Blue Jays. And you're getting somebody who has been there, who has done that. This is somebody who's pitched over 1,000 innings in MLB. He's got 55 innings to his name right now, and they've all been quality, a 3.6 ERA. It's not necessarily the ace that I think, a lot of Toronto Blue Jays fans are hoping for, because you look over at this rotation right now, and you do want to see some type of ace, which right now, I'm not sure if the Blue Jays have. However, if they want more of a bargain option, I do think that Tyler Anderson would be a great shout. This is somebody that can come in and can definitely help you out more times than not. and he's not going to break your prospect bank like somebody like a Sandy might if he starts performing really, really well. Now, you're going to see there's going to be a couple more pitchers on this list, but I do want to, just for the sake of variety, change things up here and get to a hitter. Let's talk about Cedric Mullins. Cedric Mullins is honestly like one of my, or has been one of my favorite baseball players for a long period of time. Just the way that he plays the game, I think it's awesome. And you know what, like, credit to the guy. He was with Baltimore when they were terrible, then he was with Baltimore when they were really good, and now he's with Baltimore again when they are, you know, not that good. At the time of recording this video, the Baltimore Orioles, they are 19-34. Oof. This is a team that is probably going to have to sell. They are -92 in run differential. That is the worst in the American League. That's actually so bad. They're like almost double the Chicago White Sox, which is terrible. So they are definitely going to be sellers. I know that, you know, people always kind of cringe at the idea of, you know, interdivisional trading and all that stuff. But Cedric Mullins, in my opinion, isn't a guy that, you know, like, it's not like an Adley Rutschman, right? Like, they'd obviously never trade an Adley Rutschman to us, probably would never trade an Adley Rutschman anyways, just like we would never want to trade them somebody like a Vladimir Guerrero Jr., you know, they'd never want to trade their cornerstone guy. Cedric Mullins isn't really that cornerstone guy anymore. He'd be a one-year rental, right? The guy is a free agent in 2026. He is getting paid this year $8.725 million. I mean, that is dirt cheap for a guy who right now is performing really, really well. He's got a 767 OPS, an OPS plus of 122, 7 stolen bases, 10 home runs. Like, that would lead the league, or not the league, excuse me, but lead the Toronto Blue Jays in home runs if he was to come over here. This is somebody that could absolutely provide a bit of production. And when you look over at the Toronto Blue Jays right now, just in terms of, you know, their hitters, their outfielders, yes, you have Dalton Varsho, who will always be there every single day. You know, he's going to be there, especially with the way that the bat is going right now. But just defense alone, he's going to be there. But then you got George Springer and you got Anthony Santander. And right now, and Anthony Santander in this lineup, they have him locked down at the DH. They also have Nathan Lucas in here. I think that there is room to add another guy there, especially somebody who is quality like Cedric Mullins. This is a veteran. This is somebody that's not going to break the bank in terms of prospect capital, and he would add to that lineup. Moving on to guy number 4. Let's talk about Andrew Heaney. Andrew Heaney is also a lefty, and he's over there on the Pittsburgh Pirates, which, again, rough season for Pittsburgh, folks. I mean, people are talking about them trading Paul Skeens, let alone Andrew Heaney. They are 19-36, -72 run differential. They are going to be sellers. And honestly, Andrew Heaney would be a great guy for the Toronto Blue Jays to go out and grab. 3.41 ERA. He's got 60.2 innings to his name, a pretty solid whip, and a WAR of 1.3. You're talking about somebody that's going to be a free agent after this year, so another rental. And look at this contract. I mean, Rogers Communication Company, they are going to eat this up. $5.25 million. That is nothing. That's dirt cheap, right? I mean, that's almost what they paid Kirby Yates back in the day to do nothing for us, right? So like, this, just from a monetary investment, would be honestly nothing at all. And from a prospect capital standpoint, yeah, the guy's doing really, really well, but you're talking about, you know, what's going to be a 2-month, 3-month rental piece for the Toronto Blue Jays. So I don't think that this is somebody that you're going to need to trade Arjun Namala for, or Trey Savage. Honestly, probably nobody on this, you know, list that I have right here would be worthy of that. Maybe Sandy if he really starts turning it on. But Andrew Heaney, this is a, you know, maybe a top 10 prospect, but on the lower end type thing, and that's that. But somebody that could absolutely come in, help the Toronto Blue Jays. Once again, a lefty, which is something that the Blue Jays could desperately use in that starting rotation. Whoa, time for a quick shout out to the sponsor of this video. Hit your picks and knock it out of the park with Betway. Scan the QR code down below to join the action. Only available in Ontario. Must be 19 years of older to participate. Please play responsibly. Now, everyone, back to the content. Finally, everybody, let's talk about a potential bullpen piece. If Jeff Hoffman is going to continue to struggle, we might need somebody else in there, especially Jimmy Garcia right now. He just got hurt. So if Hoffman is going to blow some games for us, which I hope he doesn't do, but if he does, having another option would be great. this is somebody who could absolutely do that. Kyle Finnegan over there on Washington. He has 15 saves to his name so far, 18.2 innings. I mean, the guy is quality, a 2.41 ERA. Looking over at the standings, this one is like a little bit questionable because Washington is kind of still in the mix, but I mean, at 24 and 29 and a negative 48 run differential, I anticipate by trade deadline time they are going to be pretty far out of the race. So assuming they are, Kyle Finnegan could absolutely be available. Similar to a lot of names on this list, we are talking about a guy who is on the final year of his contract. And you want to talk about dirt cheap, same deal as Andrew Heaney, $6 million for this guy. I mean, just nothing at all to add what would be a very quality bullpen piece into your bullpen right there. So if the Blue Jays are dealing with some closer problems come trade deadline, if they're dealing with some injuries, Kyle Finnegan 100% could be the way to go. But folks, let me know what you think about this list in the comments down below. It's still very early, so things are gonna change. But right now, about 2 months out from the trade deadline, these are some names that I am eyeing that would be great for the Toronto Blue Jays. Please hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and as always, go Jays go.